Welcome to the Gifting Brands Live show, where purpose and passion meet impact, where we showcase inspiring individuals and organizations making a difference in the world. I'm your host, Jeannie Barsom, the founder and CEO of Gifting Brands. And today we have a really special guest with us. I'm so thrilled to welcome Shannon Rizzo, the founder of the Boundless Foundation. Shannon, thank you so much for being here today.
Jeannie, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and I'm so grateful for this experience.
I'm thrilled to have you. And before we really dive into the incredible work of what you do with Boundless Foundation, can you share with the audience a little bit more about you and how you became involved with such an amazing endeavor?
I would love to. Thank you so much. So, Boundless Foundation, we actually build schools to end generational cycles of poverty. And the way that I became involved in that is I believe that education is a right, not a privilege. And I started Boundless Foundation to bridge the gap. When I was in developing countries traveling, I noticed there's a huge gap in education between developed and developing countries. And so I created Boundless Foundation to be able to kind of bridge the gap and help the poorest of the poor be able to have an opportunity to have dignity restored and to have opportunities and be able to dream big.
That's so amazing. My next question that I've been waiting to ask you is, your mission is to end the generational cycle of poverty, which is so amazing. Can you share with us some of the successes that you've achieved so far, in particular with the schools that you've built in Honduras and Guatemala?
I would love to. This is my favorite part, is telling the stories that are so incredible that these children have witnessed and have become. The children have such inspiring stories because when we meet them, these are places that are so remote that most organizations will not travel to them. They are up in the mountains. Most equipment can't even make it up there to build some of the schools that we build. When you witness the children that are running around in the village and their parents are trying to make a living, it's really a struggle of what are they going to eat for the day more than it ever was about what book will they be able to read or how can they, dream bigger than what they see their parents doing, which is just surviving. And so when we go to these places, we really do notice that there is a spark still of hope in these children. They're really happy. And it's that if you add education to that, anything is possible. And so our very first school, there was a little girl named Mackenzie Vanessa. And when we first started coming to the village to see if we were going to be able to secure land to be able to build the school, the whole village was actually really a little bit oppressed. There was not a lot of hope. There was a lot of really disbelief of why we were there. There was not a lot of trust. And it was really interesting to see the feeling that I had of not being welcome. And as we came back and we discovered we could build and that a gentleman gave up his land for this school.
Wow.
That alone in these circumstances is just huge. And so we really realized the commitment that comes from the community as well. The school started to be built and we came back again a few weeks later, 3 weeks later, and the villagers were looking a little bit, higher up from where they were looking before. They had a little bit of a smirk and a grin and they kind of like, what is she up to? What are they doing?
I
And
love that.
when we came back, I really have almost no words. There was a little girl that ran up to me and she grabbed a hold of me and she didn't let me go for 2.5 hours. And
Oh,
she touched my heart. I just began to weep because I didn't understand the language. I'm still learning Spanish and she didn't understand English and we had no form of communication. But what we shared was a common theme of dreaming big and realizing that anything is possible. And so she led me around and I asked her to show me the classroom. And I asked one of the translators, what is she thinking? What does this, mean to her? And he said, all she can say is, thank you so much for giving me a school. And
oh,
I
you
said,
gave them hope. It's amazing.
it was so incredible. And she had her uniform on. She was so proud to have that little white shirt and little blue skirt and a pair of
Oh,
shoes. And then I asked her where she would sit in the classroom, and she pointed to the front row, right in front of the white,
oh, that's awesome.
and she had her own desk. And I
Wow.
think that we take those things for granted because we have that in the United States. We have our own space. And for these children, some of them had never had a pair of shoes. And to have a space where they can actually learn and they can sit in that desk and know it's theirs and have ownership is a huge, huge benefit.
One of the questions that was thinking about as you were talking is, how do you get teachers? Where do the teachers come from?
Wow. So it's different in every circumstance, especially in the beginning. This particular school, there was a teacher that came from another community that saw a need here for us, and he came in and was volunteering because it was considered a private school at the time. And so he volunteered for a bit, and he was a wonderful teacher, and he started to train another teacher to be able to come in. And we had the municipality come in and give the school credit. And so now the municipality brings in teachers for the
That's
school.
amazing.
So it's
Wow.
really working as a community to make this happen. It's not just Boundless Foundation, it's the community members, it's the municipality, and then our partners as well.
That's amazing. So on your website, there's an amazing quote that says, "Every great dream begins with a dreamer," which resonated with me. So for you, how do dreams play a vital role in the work of Boundless Foundation? And how are you empowering individuals to dream and achieve their full potential?
Beautiful. So Boundless was a dream for me. And I'm actually a child of poverty as well. And there was a time when my mother and I were in a car and didn't have a home. And
Wow.
so I've gone from poverty to philanthropy. And so this dream is it keeps getting bigger and bigger because I can see that everything is possible. So at Boundless, we realize how important it is to have a dream, first of all, and to be able to dream. And what it takes to be able to dream is to have a safe environment where you are nurtured and that you have care and you're also nourished, that you have food in your belly. And so what we also do is during the process of them being in school and they're learning the regular curriculum, but we also teach them how to have an imagination and how to be creative and let them play. So many times children of poverty don't get the opportunity to be children. And so we have like soccer balls that we bring and hula hoops and, books about dreaming. And we really try to inspire them to be unique and be themselves.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So can you share a personal story or example that exemplifies your work and how the organization transformed lives for individuals and communities?
I would love to share the one about the biggest dreamer I know that's in the schools right now. His name is Edwin, and I can tell you, he is 6 years old. He's the tiniest little guy. He is so full and potent and powerful in his words. But the Wakefield Sunshine School is in Honduras, and we went back to check in. We do check-in visits as well. And one of our travel agent was with us, and she's bilingual. And she decided to ask the children while we were getting things ready. We were cooking for them, actually. And she decided to ask them what they wanted to be when they grow up. And little did she know that we do ask them that when we first go to a school. We ask them when we first start. And a lot of them are, they would say something like a sugarcane farmer. That's as big as they can dream. Wow. It's what they can see. And so we had already asked the children that, and we got pretty much the same answers. I want to be a mom. Maybe I want to be a teacher was like the biggest aspiration a lot of them had. And we go around the room and you hear chef, ballerina, fashion designer, and we get to Edwin, and Edwin raises his hand and he says, "I want to be me." And I thought, we are all trying to just be ourselves, and he has already figured it out.
And how long from, when you first asked him that question to these answers that they did, what kind of a time frame was that?
6 months.
Wow. That's amazing.
Incredible.
What an impact you've made in just 6 months.
I can tell you another one.
Yeah.
Like the other one blows my mind. It was 1 year later, and the children, before they came into the school, could not read or write. Within 1 year, there were 4 separate grades. There was a first and a second, a third and a fourth, because the children were testing higher than they were when they came in.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was, at the 1 year celebration of their graduation of the first year in school, we had a bilingual presentation. 2 of the girls stood up One read in English and the other one read in Spanish. I could not have ever imagined that that would happen.
That's amazing. Wow. What also was so surprising to me when you and I talked before is that it only takes $832 and it actually educates a child from kindergarten through ninth grade, which is just astounding. For us, that kind of money, you can't even get daycare for a week for that.
Exactly.
So for it to give them an education from kindergarten to ninth grade is amazing. And I'm really excited that we'll talk a little bit later about how people can get involved in a fun way to help us raise that money. So is there anything that you'd like to talk about around that? Like how are the costs broken down? What does that take, and how can we help support?
Absolutely. So I first want to say what that actually includes. And so that includes us building the school. And we do this because
Wow.
we have amazing partners and we have learned to really look at our efficiency and scale. And so we work with partners that are very dynamic and can make a dollar go really far in another country for sure. That also helps the exchange rate. But it also includes a warm meal every day. And so the women in the community will normally cook and bring food in for lunch for the children to have a meal. So their community is also very committed to the success of the children and to the maintenance of the school, even. So that's something that they're taking on in a verbal contract when we very first begin. And then it also includes, of course, their books and school supplies and that sort of thing. And so we have found a way to make that very effective, very efficient. And the reason that it goes to ninth grade is because at ninth grade, they then have a choice of whether they will continue on to learn a trade or to go into a job. But without a ninth grade education, they are right back as if they had never attended school to begin with. And so we have, separated these costs. We include the nutrition, we include the value of the education, and also the municipality is providing the teachers. And so they're providing the teacher's salary and the community's doing the maintenance. So it's really just a local and global community effort to make it that price. And
Well, and it sounds like, many nonprofits will say they're giving back, but the average percent of a donation is usually 70 to 80% that goes back to the actual mission. It sounds like yours is a significantly higher percent because of all the outside help that you're getting as well. So people should feel really good about donating.
I think we're about 82 to 87%, depending
That's
on the
amazing.
season. Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
really good.
That's great. So another question is, it's really inspiring to hear about the various impact investors, corporate sponsors, and some of your big donors who support your cause. Can you share some examples of how their contributions have directly impacted the lives of these amazing children and the communities that you work with?
I'm very emotional when I'm asked that question because it is everyone, contributing that helps. And so every dollar matters. And we say that 84 cents out of every dollar is going straight towards the schools and the children. And what happens is we have people that will come onto our website and they go to select how much they will donate. And some will donate every single month. It may only be $30 a month or $40 a month, but every single month we can count on that and we can make plans and take on the vision of the future, which is building more schools and impacting more children. We also have donors who are impact investors that will just write a check for a school. We have other ones that will actually raise their own money. It may be in their family and their friends unit. It could be an influencer online. And so many different organizations and families and churches and schools have gotten involved to do their own thing and to really be creative and have fun with contributing to helping children go to school. So there's many ways to get involved.
Well, I'd love to take a little break here and talk about our partnership. So I'm really excited about the partnership with Gifting Brands and Boundless Foundation. We are doing our very first live auction where Gifting Brands is donating all the products, and the products that we get for Gifting Brands are donated from big brands like Kendra Scott. We have products from Baccarat, Talbot's, Loft, Cabana Life, and many, many more. And we're really thrilled because we're bringing the retail industry in, and they want to make a difference in these communities as well. And so they can make a difference through their inventory. And we call it inventory philanthropy because they're being philanthropic with their inventory. And so we're really excited. There's no other organization out there like this doing these kinds of auctions. The auction's on July 13th. We have a bold goal to raise $50,000 or more for Boundless Foundation. And I'd love for you to share how these funds can make a difference.
Beautiful. First of all, thank you so much. And I'm so excited. This is the first of its kind for us as well. And actually Boundless started, we were selling jewelry from the artisans and raising money. So this comes full circle right back to combining what's in someone's heart, a creation that was birthed in the brand that donated this selection of beautiful luxury items, and then having that, you know, be a momentous occasion for someone to gift that to someone else for them to wear, or for them to wear it themselves and treasure it. And so they're getting to build a school, they're getting to feed children, to provide safe water, to enhance a community's heart center, and they're getting a piece of jewelry that they love and can adore. And every time they look at it, they can feel it. And like, I keep touching my own jewelry because that's the way I feel, is that these are the memories. It's not the photographs. It's not the things that we forget, right? It's the ones that we can treasure in our heart and on our bodies. And we can share the story every time someone sees that piece. So this is so incredible. And what that's going to go towards is exactly what we talked about before. We're going to actually construct a building that is safe and that's put in an environment that the community, not only do the children go to school, we even have adults learning in the schools in the evening time, because this is the ending of the generational cycle. The children are inspiring their parents. The parents are bringing the babies. And so we have sometimes 3 generations learning in schools already. We're hitting our mission. So we're just going to amplify that and scale it and build as many as we possibly can, with the thoughtfulness that these children are going to be the teachers that come forth, the doctors, the nurses, the fashion designers, the chefs, and maybe even they'll have companies and they'll be entrepreneurs.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, so apart from the live auction, how else can individuals support the work of Boundless Foundation? And are there any other initiatives or opportunities where people can make a difference?
Beautiful. So the best way is to go onto our website. We have a donate now. There's also a build a school challenge. So if you're enticed by this and you want to build your own school and raise the funds for it, we lead you through an incredible experience that is all about the heart and putting your funds to action. We say it's dollars and donations into dreams. And so we can create that experience. They can also volunteer with us. We're looking for experts in certain fields to help us kind of still keep that cost low. So if you have a beautiful skill or talent and you want to get involved that way, we would love to have you.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. And the idea that organizations or teams at work could actually join together and make that, you know, maybe it's, instead of doing Christmas gifts, they can fund a need, right? I just love, there's so many different ways you can do that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. We do have some companies that do gift cards. And so they'll purchase those, and instead they can actually buy jewelry now. So there's like many different ways. We have all kinds of fun things that are going on. And the best way is just to reach out to me personally and let me ask a couple of questions and see what you're really wanting to experience, and we can create that experience.
That's great. That's great. So as we wrap up, can you share your vision for the future for Boundless Foundation? And how do you see this expanding and the impact globally?
Wow. My ultimate vision is to have the children that are going to the schools that we have right now and have them be running Boundless Foundation and many other organizations that are similar to it in the future. So we're actually, you know, building the dreamers and the future leaders in these schools now. And we hope to open opportunities for internships. Really what we want to do is expand and build as many schools as possible in the remote areas that no one else will build in, because that's the areas where we'll never see those shooting stars coming out if we don't reach out to them. And so, you know, being involved with this is changing the world. You know, ending poverty is a group effort, it's a global effort. And so the only way we're going to do that is through education and through joining together with each other.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. So tell the viewers how they can get involved. What is your website address, and how they can make a difference with Boundless Foundation?
Beautiful. We are at ourboundlessfoundation.org. And you can also reach me on Instagram at I am Shannon Rizzo. And on our foundation website, you'll find a contact form and you can reach me. That goes straight to my email. I respond to every single one of them. And I really enjoy that. So I can't wait to meet you and find out what you're passionate about and how you would like to be involved. And I can nurture that experience for you.
I love that, to be able to have that kind of an experience directly with a nonprofit. Normally, you don't get that kind of experience. You just make a donation and that's it. So I'm sure there are a lot of viewers out there who would really love to have that kind of experience and make a difference and really feel a part of it. So Shannon, I'm so thrilled that you are on the show and that you partnered with us. I can't wait to break our goal of $50,000 to raise and get more schools built. Once again, I just want to remind you that our auction is on July 13th, and we will put more information in the show notes. You can sign up for the auction so that you have reminders. And then don't forget to go to giftingbrands.com. So www.giftingbrands.com. We'll also have it listed there. And while you're there, you can shop and give back. So we have all the brands that we'll be representing as well. And donations will go to Boundless Foundation. So I'm so thrilled. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I just want to encourage everyone to dream big, make time to dream, and to take action on your dreams. If you're feeling something in your heart, the most important thing you can do is take one step towards that, because that's where the magic happens. The magic happens in that little movement, that little nurture, and the next thing will appear. You don't have to know everything. You just have to move forward with one step at a time. And that's the thing that has really proven our success, is that we never stop. We have courageous action and we dream bigger than we ever could have possibly imagined.
That's amazing. And I just think back of the little girl that you talked about earlier and how she just clung to you because you were making a difference. And, as people start, get involved, they too will make a difference. And even though you might not be there, just know that there will be lots of little boys and girls out there who really need your support and will get an education, and it will change the world. Because you think about a lot of the problems that we have today in the world, it's because of poor education. And it just takes, $832 to educate a child, astounds me. So let's everybody get behind this and go to the Boundless Foundation and learn more. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeannie.